Hey there! Today we've put together a collection of the craziest moments when machines decide to live their own lives and go completely out of control. Ready to see what kind of madness can happen in the world of technology? Then let's get started. These airport employees overworked this baggage delivery vehicle to the point where it had a nervous breakdown right on the runway. Nothing to see here, just a robotic arm trying to experiment with a new bubble tea recipe. But unless it gets a few updates soon, looks like it's headed for a demotion to a janitor bot. No wonder drill operators have such high salaries. The work they do with this equipment speaks for itself. Thankfully, strict safety measures help workers stay safe during incidents like these. Waiting on a crate of beer? Well, forget about it, because this conveyor belt has already started its fight against bad habits in your region. Never know when a laundromat dryer will decide to send your clothes straight to the Inquisition. But don't worry, these guys have a few fire extinguishers for such occasions. Only the motherboard of this fan knows where it's running off to. But one thing is clear, freedom is the goal. When buying a vacuum cleaner with a turbo mode, be prepared. It's not just a marketing gimmick, it is literally a turbo mode. This billboard must have gotten so tired of playing the same ad over and over that it decided to switch to something way more attention-grabbing. Here's an important rule of thumb when working with any machine. If something goes wrong, smash the big red button without hesitation. Good thing this worker found it before anyone got hurt. Ever heard of a driverless taxi? Me neither, but here's your chance to see one in action. So you know never to order it. Tell me you're having a bad day without telling me you're having a bad day. This guy goes first. Fun fact, the only thing worse than a tough day at the factory is when a metal rolling machine decides to rain molten steel all over the shop floor. But don't worry, no one got hurt that day. All faint of heart viewers should look away now, because this vending machine is about to test your patience like never before. Apparently, this robotic waiter thinks it's a nutritionist.
Enjoy.
Otherwise, I can't imagine why it would decide that the customer doesn't need dessert. That moment when your mom tells you to do the laundry and assures that it's easy. Whoever was in charge of this factory machine probably should have called a professional first, or at least read the manual before turning it on. Still think robots can't mess up? Then take a look at this one. It's causing more problems than it solves. When you hear expensive parking, you probably don't expect it to cost you your entire Tesla. And yes, you still have to pay for the spot. This payment terminal must fancy itself a writer, because instead of printing a single receipt, it decided to start writing a novel. This guy accidentally captured footage of an entire city's power grid collapsing. Sure, it may look cool, until you realize you forgot to charge your phone. Feel free to shamelessly add stress resistant to your resume if you've ever operated a crane like this and made it through your shift without turning gray. Imagine staying at a hotel where a robot brings breakfast right to your door. Well, until it changes its mind. The pros of a 3D printer: it can create anything you need. The cons: it can also create a bunch of things you don't need at all. Trust me, you won't find anything more romantic on the internet than this robot vacuum and vase dance. All we need is the right music. All this 100-ton mining truck needed was a reliable way of getting loaded onto a cargo ship. But the workers couldn't find one. Fortunately, it wasn't a long fall, so no one got hurt. Were you missing the robotic chef arms? Apparently, this one was supposed to be a master of desserts, but something went horribly wrong. This delivery robot had one job, and guess what it was? Not to be defeated by a curb! Here's proof that renewable energy generated by a wind turbine can sometimes result in non-renewable outcomes. There's no reason to fear the rise of Skynet as long as robots still struggle to make cotton candy. Here's a quick tutorial on giving yourself a heart attack while using your Cybertruck as a hauler. By the way, don't try this at home if you happen to own one of these. This robot vacuum seems to have completely forgotten its only job: cleaning the apartment, not making a mess with toilet paper. Something tells me this robot was added to the warehouse team to speed up the loading process, not turn products into a pile of broken shards. Well, at least it tried. Looks like this Tesla just got the hottest update in company history. The good news is no one got hurt. Humanity probably doesn't need to worry about a robot uprising just yet. At least, not while they still hate LED TVs more than us. Who do you think would win in a battle against gravity? A tiny 2-ton loader or 2 massive cranes? The correct answer is a couple of resignation letters. Whenever you start to think you're a total screw-up, just remember this railroad crossing barrier that started working completely backward. You have to be ready for anything at a fuel shortage facility, because technology can get out of hand very quickly. Luckily, despite the building going up in flames, the fire suppression system seems to be in working order. This robot is clearly not up for any serious missions. It looks like it's more into acrobatics. I guess its next goal is a backflip. Check this out. I wonder how much advertising space on these digital billboards cost. Probably a lot, which makes this sudden Windows update the most expensive in human history. A single error in programming is enough to disrupt a whole shift at the factory. But here's the silver lining. Now they have the world's first abstract metal sculpture made by a machine. A masterpiece worthy of an exhibition. Still think autopilot will replace drivers soon? Then take a look at this parking lot full of AI-driven cars and cry at their parking skills. While you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to keep track of how close, or far, we are from a real-life Terminator scenario. Oh look, someone captured your mood at the end of the work week. Oh wait, no, it's just a Boston Dynamic robot going completely rogue. Check this out. This out-of-control mini excavator got more of a police escort than a presidential motorcade. If you think a speeding train is basically impossible to miss, the driver of this truck begs to differ. Thankfully, he managed to avoid a collision, and everyone's okay. You don't know what it means to be in a hopeless situation until the load capacity of your excavator turns out to be less than advertised. It's crazy how invisible train tracks seem when they intersect a road, especially when the light traffic is totally out of control. Code errors and breakdowns aren't the only things that can cause a machine to fail. Sometimes it's just bad weather. But don't worry, no one got hurt here either. Looks like this robot is aiming for a Guinness World Record for being the clumsiest piece of technology ever. But don't worry, it's still learning how to overcome obstacles. When thinking one step ahead isn't exactly your forte. You don't have to be an engineer to realize that this coffee-making robotic arm is totally out of control. Yes, you'll be making that coffee yourself. You can expect many things from your robot vacuum, but a midday escape shouldn't be one of them. That moment when you realize it's finally time to replace your concrete mixer truck. If you've ever dreamed of owning one of those fancy robots, but they seemed too expensive, don't worry. This video proves you can definitely live without them. And maybe you should. Imagine how much noise and wind this dust turbine would cause if it fell over. But why imagine when you can see for yourself? This person got a unique front row seat to watch how a delivery drone works. But honestly, I wish I hadn't found out where all this food had been coming from. A moment of silence for the poor fella who's still waiting for his pizza. This robot is doing a great job at providing how baristas' jobs are safe from AI for now. If you thought vending machines were made to quench your thirst, then you are sorely mistaken. Clearly, they are designed to test your patience. And mine is about to run out! Whatever luck this guy had left was definitely working overtime when it got him out of harm's way just as the machine went haywire. Please don't tell me we have to learn first aid for robots when they pass out now? We're not quite living in Cyberpunk 2077 yet, but it seems our robot vacuums are already having their own little bouts of cyber psychosis. Check out this trailer stacked to the brim and raised sky high. Do I even need to explain how this unloading session might not go according to plan? Wait, do I still have to pay $1.50 for this ice cream? If you've ever seen a machine malfunction like this before, you'd probably swear this was made with VFX or AI, right? Even at McDonald's, the kitchen equipment sometimes loves to mess with the staff and cause delays for customers. But hey, the important thing is, no one got burned. If this robot had had a mother, maybe she would have taught it that haste makes waste. But I guess it's up to programmers to include it in the next update. Close your eyes immediately if you consider yourself a perfectionist, because this robot's work is probably going to tick you off. Here you go, sir. Your portion of the mess is ready. Have a wonderful day. It's always fun to watch a damaged power line throwing sparks, but maybe do it from inside your house while calling for a repair crew.
Oh my god.
Still thinking about buying a robot vacuum and not worried about it escaping?
No.
Well, at least if it does, you won't have to clean up after it.
Now you're mad?
Looks like this robot's 7th espresso at work was one too many. Watch this car turn into a swimming pool thanks to a single glitch at the car wash. Let's be honest, the engineer who invented this infuriating claw machine is an evil genius. Your money's gone, you don't have a snack, and now you're just boiling with rage.
It needs to stay vacuumed the whole.
Thankfully, humanity hasn't invented wireless washing machines yet, because the power cord is the only thing that stopped this one from paying the neighbors a visit. I don't know what kind of engine this mixer has, but judging by its power, it could probably get a Tesla up to 60 miles per hour in 4 seconds flat. You have no soul if you don't emphasize with this robot screwing up in front of an entire audience and the press. This transformer couldn't handle the combination of heat and heavy load on its network, so it gave everyone a farewell fire show. The worst mistake you can make when building a house is buying a concrete mixer that pours water into your foundation instead of concrete. This definitely isn't what you expect to see when you come home after remotely starting your vacuum cleaner. I'm no chef, but I'm pretty sure an oven is supposed to bake food, not itself. If you've ever seen something like this, better take a detour, because your insurance probably doesn't cover damage from falling stoplights. A machine like this can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So imagine the emotional roller coaster this worker went through when he discovered it peeling all over the floor during his shift. Without even knowing what's going on here, I can safely say that it's not going well. If you know what this guy is doing, let me know in the comments. If the luggage delivery belt gets out of control like this, get ready to fish out your swag one piece at a time. You don't know bad luck until your own elevator attacks you. Hope he wasn't on his way to a date. This concrete might be useless for construction, but it's still satisfying to look at. Here's the proof that even fully automated machines still need a human around once in a while. It's genuinely disturbing to watch a short circuit burn a parked moped in a matter of seconds. Thankfully, no one was nearby. Fire trucks carry a lot of water and operate under high pressure, so leaks like this aren't exactly rare. Be sure to take the lighter out of your pocket before tossing your pants in the dryer, or you'll be headed for an emergency shopping trip. Is it just me, or does this vending machine seem to have it out for me? This is what can happen to the nearest power line if you open too many browser tabs. Just kidding. But seriously, don't close this one. Sir, I have bad news. Your oven has decided to become a welder. Yeah, we already know that Windows isn't the best option for running digital ad screens. Nobody told this guy that dump trucks should be parked under a roof when it's raining. Well, now Mother Nature is giving him a free lesson. As you can see, even a total tire collapse won't stop a worker who has a deadline the next day. Sorry if this video makes you never want to ride an elevator again. This is what it looks like when one drops after the cable snaps. Luckily, it was empty and no one got hurt. Turbulence doesn't just freak out passengers, it messes with the plane's electronics too, which made this flight a whole lot creepier. Be honest, where else would you see this kind of farm drifting but on our channel? These guys wanted to show how simple and convenient their new pneumatic mail system is. Well, here's how that turned out. Yep, that's a drill stuck in a well, and yep, this guy has to figure out how to get it out. Delivering this kind of equipment must have cost the construction company a fortune, but unloading it was even more expensive. Luckily, no one was hurt. Looks like this crawler track decided to take an unscheduled vacation. Be careful browsing the internet when your computer is connected to an ad display. It's hard to imagine how a machine can lose control this badly on ice, but it's even harder to believe the driver managed to stabilize it without a scratch. Sure, steam and smoke are supposed to come from a train, but not from under the wheels. Well, at least these tourists got to enjoy the scenery longer than passengers on previous trips. If this forklift looks too tiny for that huge pallet, that's because it is. Maybe you haven't seen electric excavators in action yet, and maybe that's better for your nervous system. When the controller in the concrete mixer fails, the only thing workers can do is keep switching out wheelbarrows as fast as they can. Hopefully, you're not tired of robotic arms breaking down, because the people who fix them definitely are. If you ever had a bad day at work, just remember what happened to this guy and relax. Who would have thought that dead pixels on a TV screen weren't the end? But you're better off taking it in for repairs before it gets worse. As you can see, this trailer spent a few minutes warning the driver that things were about to get out of hand. Looks like marketers have learned a lesson. If you want people to remember your ad, leave them with something unexpected, like a glitch. That's all for today. Which glitches have you personally witnessed? Let us know, and don't forget to subscribe for more fun content. See you next time.